Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of On the Couch, where we dive into financial literacy, mindset conditioning on how to, and not how to, what to do in being an entrepreneur, especially in this market, in this industry. Sometimes we have guests, and sometimes we talk about nonsense. And today we're actually going to talk about a very important topic. I'm one of your co-hosts, Johnny Soup, and we're here with
Danny Cardozo.
Let's dive right into it.
Hair follicles.
Hair follicles. It's not hair follicles, man. So anyways, listen, guys, I decided to grow my hair, as you can see. Growing up, I have curly hair, and it's been tough. And you know what? My son, he's got curly hair like me. And if you don't shower in the morning, right? Like my son showers before he goes to bed, wakes up, and then he gets ready and goes to school. Curly hair, if you don't wet it in the morning, bro, it is the worst.
So I was born with curly hair.
So you know, okay? Like if you don't take it, like if you don't wash your hair in the morning and then style it while it's all wet and then let it dry, curly hair is very tough to deal with, especially for boys. Girls, you can have it grow it out.
My poor daughter, man.
Both
talking about curly hair. And
Both your kids have curly hair?
No, just my daughter, my 7-year-old. I feel so bad for her.
It's
Can you
tough.
pass a comb through
I
it?
feel bad for my wife. That once a week when she gets gonna like wash her hair, it's like war upstairs.
Can you pass a comb through it?
No,
No.
Very difficult. So my daughter
man.
daughter has very not like Marie, but very
Coarse hair.
she's got curls. My daughter has like the curly Sue curls, and it's difficult. We have to have like detanglers and stuff like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it is a tough go. So I'm at that age, you know, where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to go bald. I feel that maybe one day I might lose my hair. My dad has lost his hair. My grandparents lost their hair, right? But my brother's got a beautiful coif. I am, you know, I got the crown that's a little thinning. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to grow it a little bit. So the shampoos that I use, I feel they dry my hair. Curly hair is dry naturally. And I went to my trusted assistant, ChatGPT, and I was like, listen, this is my hair. This is what's happening. It's dry. And it introduced me to these products that I guess Jamaicans use because their hair is curly,
Coarse. Yeah.
very coarse, and can be dry. I've never actually even thought about taking that approach, but I did. And I've been washing my hair with shea butter and coconut oil,
Really?
a shampoo. And honest to God, like you can see, my hair looks richer.
What were you using before? Like a Head and Shoulders kind of thing?
Yeah, so I get dry scalp sometimes, and that's where I would buy Head and Shoulders. But Head and Shoulders does make a product. It's called Rain something. I can't remember, but it was on there. But I was like, I'm going to try these other ones that they moisten your scalp, and they they're not much more expensive. Like we're talking $2-3. It's not a
At
crazy.
Walmart, right?
Yeah, and I use very little shampoo. Like I'm talking like a fingernail amount of shampoo. Yeah, I don't put blobs. I put very little shampoo.
If you buy good shampoo, you literally need just a
A
little.
drop, yeah.
What's your definition of good shampoo, though?
Because I used to own a barbershop.
Yeah, so what would you recommend then?
Yeah, like for product wise.
Like, what's good shampoo? I thought all shampoo is,
No,
you know,
like
not
if you're
bad.
gonna go to Shoppers Drug Mart and you're gonna go to Walmart buy your shampoo, like you're gonna need, you know,
Like a big amount.
yeah, big amount. But if you buy something that at a beauty salon or something along those lines, you need a.
Yeah,
Like,
drop.
that's
what would
good
you,
enough.
like Goldwell, stuff like that?
I'm mad at the game now, so it's been a while.
So you're telling me that
Not
Pantene
here.
Pro V, all those other Shoppers ones are, there's a lot of other crap mixed into it?
So I did my research, and I did buy it at Walmart because I went to Walmart to buy it. But the shea butter, it's called that's the actual. It's called shea something. It comes in a little container. It's an orange label. I never paid attention to it before because it was usually just like Arm & Hammer for men or Dove for men. Like that's what my wife would buy. But I was like, I got to try something different. It's drying my hair. Like all these chemicals are just drying my hair. And I've been using the shea butter.
Now,
And so far, so good.
disclaimer, just shea butter? Or is it like one of those all-in-one shampoos that have shea butter into it?
Shea butter into it
okay.
and coconut oil into it and probably some soap, I'm sure. But there's no alcohol or ammonias in there to dry out. the hair. So
You know what I love about this episode? Somehow we're going to transition to private lending. Now, Danny, I would love to see
somehow
that.
we're going to transition to private lending.
Boom.
So guys, let's talk private lending. Once we're pH balanced, Danny, talk to me about private lending.
It's all about LTVs. Oh, here we go.
It's not about private lending. Actual as a borrower that I want to talk about, I wanted to make this episode about investors
Good.
and investing in private lending.
So a lot of people ask, like people
I'm
say,
telling you, in the last week, I've had so many calls with so many people asking to invest in private lending.
yeah.
So I want to touch base on it.
So what should a individual look at when it comes to private lending? So like Danny's saying, not the borrower side, not the person borrowing, which I do want to make one statement. Borrowing private money or getting a second mortgage is not a bad option. Okay? As a matter of fact, sometimes it is the cheaper option than breaking your mortgage. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there for those out there that think that getting a second mortgage is like you're a degenerate or something. It's not the case, man. Like a lot of good people I know a lot of wealthy people who have second mortgages because it makes sense, or private. So as an investor, why do I want to give a brokerage money to invest in privates?
So the rate of return is really, really good.
Okay.
So let's just knock that out of the park right now. You're going to invest your money at the bank. You're lucky if you see 4 or 5%.
Okay.
You want to invest it in stocks, fine. You might, the average is, if you are on a good good year, you're at 8% growth.
If you're aggressive on a portfolio, you could see 15, 16%,
Okay,
right?
fine, but there's a lot of up and downs.
There is that's you have to ride
So-
that up and down.
Right. So it's like the average, I think, is about 8%. Where private mortgages at the moment, you're doing 10, 11, 12,
Guaranteed.
maybe 15, maybe 20.
And that's locked in. You're signing a contract,
You're signing a contract.
that says I'm going to get this return on my investment. So I'm going to lend my 100,000 round number, and Danny, you're going to give me 13% total return.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I can't get less than that, right?
No.
Can I get more?
Yeah, 100% you can get more.
Okay.
And we can get more through ways like fees, early prepayment,
Yep.
depending on how we build the commitment for the client that's needing the funds. And what's best with investing with a brokerage is, first of all, you have our best, what's the word?
Well, our risk management.
Okay.
And our
we're definitely going to underwrite the file for you.
Yep.
But I mean, you have our trust behind you,
yeah, of course.
right? That's one major factor. We're only going to send stuff that we feel fits what your risk appetite is. So,
So let's talk about that. What is risk appetite? Like, what does that look like for an investor? So if I say to you, Danny, what are the types of private mortgages that are out there? So what are the types?
So I list private mortgages in 3 different sections. I'm going to say 6. I'm going to go high risk, medium risk, low risk.
Yep.
I'm going to go first mortgages and second mortgages.
Okay.
So in first mortgages, there are low, medium, high risks. And in second mortgages, there's low, medium, high risks.
And what?
So that's how I sort of break them down
And that's based on
on the entire file altogether. Loan to value.
So what does that mean, loan to value?
Loan to value is the amount mortgaged against the property versus what the property is actually worth by appraisal.
So if the house is worth $1 million and I need a mortgage for $600,000 in first position, I'm lending,
60% loan to value.
and that is considered
I'm going to say 60% and 65 and lower. Okay, let's go 65 to, or 70 to 50. You're in the medium. 50 and under, you're in low. And 70 and up, you're in the high.
okay.
Or I'm going to say 75 and up in the high.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's a good analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
where we want to stop is max. I don't know, man. I've got lenders that want to do 90%.
So why would they want to do 90? Because we're seeing the market swing, the pendulum's going the other way now. Like
That might be the reason why. You
So
know,
the value is gonna start increasing.
They trust the income that they trust the borrower. I mean, we're not going to be able to do 90 on every single property because if you can't show income, so you can't show that you can make payments and so on, like no one's gonna want to do 90% on your property.
But the ability to pay is extremely important.
100%.
That's why I'm going to take, hey, Mr. Investor, you like high risk investments, higher return because you're going to charge more.
How you're looking at 20-25%, maybe more, by you all said and done.
But people will pay it.
100%.
So I just want to, again, I want to just make this clear because some of you guys might now, when you hear 20-25% might be cringing, like, oh my God, that sounds so much. Listen, and I'm going to say this, I think this is accurate. If I can borrow money at $100,000 and it costs me 20%, that costs me how much? 20 grand on 100,000. But if my investment of 100,000, so let's say I'm the one borrowing it, can make double, is it not worth paying the 20%?
Yeah.
Sure it is. So some people are borrowing money at a high risk, but they know that their investment that they're making is going to have a higher return of investment. The cost of borrowing for them is not important.
Right. So in that particular example, that person there isn't as high risk as the LTV states it to be.
Yeah.
Right. Where someone that is borrowing, trying to get out of a jam at 90%, we typically we're not looking at that.
No, if you're in a jam, it's because you have very limited assets. If you're asking me to take your loan to value past the 80%, it's because, hey, you've got assets, you've got some like that you don't want to sell, because if you sell the RSP or you sell the investment, you're going to pay capital gains. It's going to go against your taxes.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go pay 30% if you can borrow it at 15.
Exactly.
Right. So that's why private lending makes sense for some people sometimes.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, because we're getting asked a lot all the time. Like people are saying, "Hey, Johnny, I've got $100,000. I want to invest it with you. What do I need to know as the investor, and what is my return, and what's the process
Yeah. So you really need our process.
or a process? Yeah,
A
our process. Yeah,
Okay. So our process is, you're obviously going to talk to one of our level 2 or higher agents, right? You're going to talk about your entire application. So the agent's going to step by step go through the entire application, collect the documents needed, right? And then you're going to be forwarded over to our private lending underwriting team.
So, and what are the two things that we're going to look at? Right, serviceability is one. Can the client service that loan?
100%.
And the appraisal.
Right.
Now, how important is the appraisal? I know we talked about it the other day, but obviously the agent is going to do the homework and see what the value of the property, approximately what it's worth. And then the appraiser, who is an accredited appraiser, not just any appraiser who is not accredited, guys. Like, I think we're very stringent when we do our private lending. Like, we're making sure that the appraiser is insured. They're backed by the right associations. They're not just an appraiser who's got a license, but they're not at any lender's list. So that's important too, because if you want pool hall money, and I said this to a client the other day, he's like, "Oh, but I have this appraiser, it's X appraisal." I said, "Yeah, sure. I could take that appraisal, but you're going to get pool hall money. You're going to pay very high rates, very high fees, because the guys that are going to lend you the money the cheapest want an accredited appraiser."
Right.
So those are
Pool hall money. Like
Pool hall money is just like,
I'm
you're
just-
hanging out at the pool hall. You're going to pay high rates.
like a hustler kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm using it as an example. Like if you wanna be shady and use a shady appraiser who has no credibility, zero insurance, they're not a part of any association, I'll take that because my house is not worth 1.3. He's gonna say it's worth 1.4.
Got you.
Well, $100,000 on 80% loan to value, you're getting an extra $80,000. So they want the extra 80,000, no problem. Then the guy lending you the money is going to be a pool hall guy who's going to charge you 22% plus 5% fees. And if
2% plus 5%?
I'm just
Well,
using
we're just
numbers, I'm
using-
just using numbers as an example,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But that's what you're going to get, and we say this all the time. Like, if you want to, as a borrower, if you want to pay less, provide more. The more you provide, the less you'll pay.
Do you guys like dealing with investors?
Yes.
I love it because obviously it builds relationships.
Yeah.
You don't get as much as some people like. Oh, I love dealing with the mix and only the mix. I love relationships.
Here comes our guy right now. So Tony will be on the couch. We should have him on as a guest,
Yeah,
actually.
100%.
So Tony, yeah, come on by, buddy. Tony manages majority of the private funds portfolio for us at the moment. So
So
the nice thing about investors is, like, why do you not want to talk to these people? These are high net worth individuals who have money to invest in private mortgages, right? So, and when you do one right for them and you make a return of investment, like I have guys, there's guys that we manage $4 or $5 million of their money. And when you're making them 15% and you're exiting their money, so you put the money in the market, they lend the money out. 9 months later, you're pulling it up because you refinance that client's problem. You solved it for them. They're happy. So the client who borrowed is happy. The investor's happy because he made his ROI. You take that money and you move it. If you understand, and I say this all the time, if you know how to move someone's money multiple times a year, you are king to that person. Because if I take your 100,000, I put it in this product, I make you 15%, I take it back out and I put it in another product, I make you 12, take it back out, put it back in. If I can turn your dollar 1.2 times a year, 1.3 times a year, if you understand that as trusting advisor, how to multiply your money, man, you're golden to these individuals because then they're going to tell their friends.
you guys like stockbrokers, but in the mortgage space.
Yeah, the best part about it is that you're not betting on a CEO. You're not betting on a CEO to make a good decision to make the stock go up. You're not betting on the CEO to make a bad publicity announcement because he's politically incorrect
So
or
who are you
correct.
betting on?
You're betting on the house and the market and the asset. But you can't, the best part about it, you can't move it. You can't take it and go take it somewhere else and make it disappear
Why not?
because the houses can't move. Where are you going to move the house? You're going to take it away?
Ah,
I can own it,
oh, yeah.
right? So my collateral is fixed. It can't be moved. So the risk is you're betting on the homeowner whose serviceability to pay is going to be good. If they fault, well, listen, man, it's that the fees don't come out of your pocket. It gets tagged onto the house.
And that's where the high risk or medium risk come into place. As in that if they do fault, where do you sit in losing your money?
Yeah.
And
What position are you in?
yeah,
And what conditions do you have in your commitment that say, hey, I have a commitment here, right? So I'm gonna lend Johnny $100,000 in second position. If you fault me one time, two times, I have the right to buy your first mortgage.
Whoa. Really?
100%.
But there's like a twofold. It's like you basically give him a chance, and then if he doesn't,
It's yet
do
to
it,
happen. Like we have not had any power sales or foreclosures in our portfolio in 5 years.
you haven't done a power sale.
Not once.
no.
Is there a reason why?
We're smart.
Well, I mean,
Sorry, I'm gonna
I
fucking
mean,
let me knock on wood.
I mean, we're not going to.
We make sure.
Hopefully, I mean, things could go wrong, obviously, like,
Yep.
but we're not going to send an applicant or a file to a investor
Yep.
if we don't feel like they're going to follow through on the commitment.
Yeah. So you got to remember, in the private world, there's two entities that you're going to be sending the file to. You have a MIC, which is a mortgage investment corporation, or you have an individual who is investing their personal funds, directing it to us to lend privately. Very, very medium to low risk. We're taking that money and then we're going to give it to our individuals. So we're going to manage their personal money. If it's high risk or it's an undesirable location, right? Because you have to be the resale, right? Like, how do we exit the investor's money? So on the investor side, we have to be able to say, okay, well, the appraisal of this property is worth $1 million. What's resale like? What's the average days on the market in that neighborhood? So what is the turnaround time? Can I get my money out of this house? And that's the stuff that Danny and I are, and the research that we're going to do prior to us even sending you.
So it's a tag team situation for investors. You guys tag team it, or do you still do it as sole guys?
We communicate.
What do you mean by
So-
tag
so,
team and
like-
soul guys? Like,
So when investors come in and they want to do business, do you guys automatically say, okay, Johnny, let's talk, let's do this together? Or do you guys handle it separately?
like me and Johnny?
you, Johnny, or the team, or like how does that
Well,
work?
I mean, we
So
if an investor comes to us, we add them to our pool of investors and where their risk appetite is sitting at.
Yeah.
Right. And money available. So, I mean, if you're going to come to me with $500,000, I want to move that $500,000 today.
Gotcha.
Right. Because an investor doesn't want that $500,000 sitting in their bank account.
Doing
They want
nothing.
that move. They want their money moving.
Yeah, so a lot of like I'll give you an example. I was sitting talking to a friend the other day, and she was saying, "Hey, this person has $300,000 available at the end of March. It's coming out of an investment, and we know that 300,000 is available. We got to be able to move that 300,000 quick,
Gotcha.
because that person days not earning interest, it's not good for an investor.
Of course.
So I got to put that money back in the market somewhere for them. So now we know that I have $300,000 available that I can close on the 31st.
You guys have an exit strategy for them?
Always.
We have to have,
Yeah.
not that we have to, but we plan out the exit for every borrower, because at the end of the day, no borrower wants to be stuck in a private forever. Like, paying high rates doesn't make sense for anybody.
Yeah. So obviously we have to be, so our fiduciary duty, because we're licensed, as you know, being a broker, we're representing the borrower and we're representing the lender. So to the lender, on the intake, right? So we have a process which is pretty cool in our brokerage, where the agent, level 2 agent, has the lead. They fill out a form. That form tells us client's name, address, loan to value, credit scores, income. But I don't even care about the story of why they need the private money. I want the story of how I'm going to exit, because that exit strategy is what I need to tell my investor that, hey, I'm going to put your money in here for 12 months, but in 12 months time, here's what's going to happen. Here's how I'm going to get your money out. The $100,000 that we're putting to this private, is 50,000 of it is going to pay off the debts. Paying off the debts is going to help them increase their credit score. And in 12 months time, their mortgage is coming up for renewal. So we're saving them from paying the penalty today, which is $12,000. So we have this in our story, and that's our exit. So in 12 months from now, X investor is going to help Y customer, and everybody wins.
We haven't really talked about, we talked about sort of 90% loan to values, and truly, as an investor that's sort of coming into private lending, I would never put you in that category.
There's only a few, eh?
Yeah,
There's a few guys that say,
there's a few people that have walked in this door and be like, listen, I don't care. I want to make 20, 25%. Give me those. But those people are very aware
Yeah.
of consequences, are very aware of the risk, and they aren't so worried about losing their money because they make a lot more on others.
yeah, but there's even clients, and listen, guys, private lending is a risky game, right? Because you could have individuals miss a payment. But there's guys who invest with us, they get excited. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's because that adds to your return on investment. That $350 late fee and the NSF charge is money that the investor's making.
Yep.
Right? So that adds to your return. So yes, you're guaranteed 13%, but you add up 4 missed payments, or over 12 months is an extra $1,300, $1,400. That $1,400 on $100,000 is 1 more percent return,
100%.
right? 1.3%. So that adds to the ROI. So a lot of this stuff is what, first, if you're interested in lending or borrowing, if you're interested in lending, reach out to us. We have a full presentation. We'll explain to you the full risk management. Everything is done through a lawyer. So it's not like you're giving us the money directly and we're putting it
100%.
out there, and we're not holding it in our trust account. This is something that you're giving it to a lawyer who will tell you the same risks, what's involved, and the money's directed through lawyers. So if you're out there and you want to invest in private mortgage, or you just want to learn more, reach out to Danny or myself. Let us know in the comments below. Even if you've had experiences borrowing or even lending the money, let us know. We'd love to answer your questions. If you think private lending is something that's should be as scary as it is, or for an investor, if it's something you should stay away from, or actually you should jump into. So if you want to know more, let us know, because
Can I take advantage of a situation now?
The
Yeah.
tequila situation. Let's go.
But it's a funny tequila situation. Now, Johnny, I'm not going to say we talked about stuff, but we talked about stuff. And this could be our most interesting looking bottle. Wouldn't you say that?
So yeah, I
Let's
walked
grab it.
I walked into the LCBO about a week ago. I went to go buy some bottles of wine. I had a dinner party at my house, and I saw this bottle of mezcal. I love mezcal. Okay, and this label, it caught my attention. And this is not for me to be controversial. Okay, so I just want to be very clear on that. Mezcal is a very beautiful tequila. I love the smokiness. Just me. Not only does this bottle look like a bottle of grappa, which caught my attention because I love grappa, but the label on it is pretty interesting. It has this smiling sun. It's got what seems to be
It's a naked guy. Just say it. It's a naked guy.
it's a naked person. Okay,
Oh, it's a person.
it's a naked person on top of a dragon who's walking, not flying, with wings.
Danny, have you seen this bottle?
I have not seen this bottle.
But the flag looks like it looks like. Come on, I don't have to say it. You can just look at it. Like take a picture. Okay, it's like it has a direct to a like.
It's a very interesting bottle.
Yes, and I can care less. I really don't give a fuck. Okay, but I'm just saying that
The taste
it's an
I think, will
interesting.
determine
Like
what it is.
it's not etched into the bottle. It's printed.
What's that green sticker there?
It
What does
says
say?
Mezcal Verde. I guess that's the brand itself. It's very interesting. A sun and a moon, a dragon who's seems to be spewing flames. It's got to be the most interesting label, and I'm telling you guys, it's probably one of my favorite.
So open it up. Let's try it.
Yeah,
Danny, are we opening it up?
it caught my attention. So the marketing on it is fantastic.
So who bought this? You bought this?
I did, yeah.
How much was it? Do you remember? Or does Danny have
70
to look?
bucks at the
70?
LCBO.
For a mezcal, that's a great price.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't had many mezcals on the show.
only one.
No, a couple.
Okay.
Definitely a couple. And mezcal is the original tequila.
I like that. Already the bottle's nice because of that. Wow, it's
So-
syrupy, guys.
Yeah, so when I look at this, it looks like a bottle of grappa, and grappa is thick. If you're drinking good grappa.
Doesn't that smell like a campfire?
Wow, that smells delicious.
Can I have a little bit?
Yeah, guys, I don't know. The bottle caught my attention.
Johnny, sip it. By the way, did you see what I just did?
Due
Johnny,
to
you missed it.
You tripped.
I went to smell my microphone.
No, you didn't again.
Again, you're the one who did it first. I
didn't-
went to smell my microphone.
I
Remember
didn't-
we were supposed to smell our drink?
Oh, listen, it's been a long day. Wow. So listen to this, okay? So don't panic. Our mezcal is produced naturally, so it's normal to find trace particles of agave in the bottle. Due to the use of natural ingredients,
Uh-oh.
some sediment may occur. Meh.
Johnny,
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
before you try it,
Yeah.
this has to be the worst tequila I've ever smelled and tasted in my entire life.
Yeah, it smells kind of funky.
It smells like you threw me into a bonfire. Like you just head first and then you
But
start
I
drinking. Taste
I
it.
love smoky stuff. So
Taste. Danny, taste it.
I have already tasted it, and so the labels are actually created by artists from Mexico and all around the world. So every bottle made by, I guess, Amaraz, which is the
brand.
the brand,
yep.
they all have different labels. So this is the first
Same
one.
company, different labels.
Same company, different
Yeah.
labels.
So their marketing, as I'm saying, their marketing's on point.
So if I go and look them up, all their labels have a drawing on it.
They all have a different drawing on it that I'm looking at it. This one's stamped Verde because it's green. As
What's green?
green means like
Natural.
Like Blanco?
it's very natural.
It's very natural, the
like-
ingredients.
Oh, no preservatives and stuff. Well, did we determine that there's no preservatives in tequila?
Not all.
What do you mean in
Like-
tequila?
I remember we were talking about
Yes, every bottle of tequila will either have preservatives or no preservatives.
Yeah.
that. Oh, it's either one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
this
a
has-
lot of a lot of people that look at
Clase Azul
Clase Azul
has additives.
has a lot of additives. Casamigos,
Yeah.
you know, if you're into tequila, you're staying away from Casamigos because of all the additives in there. Like
Which we like. It
I-
has been ranked very
it has
high
been right, but now I stay away from them. Now that I know more about tequila, like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm at a bar and it was like, oh, we have Casamigos, want Casamigos? No.
Yeah.
They're looking at me, no. I'm like, yeah, do you know how many additives in that thing? That fucking thing's shit.
Yeah.
here. Really? Look at you, snob, tequila snob.
You should have heard us at the bar a couple weeks ago.
So Johnny, I gotta hear you right now. Is this not like? Give me your feedback on it. First and foremost, let's talk about the bottle.
Okay. So I actually like the bottle. It doesn't represent a tequila bottle. Okay. However, it does look like a grappa bottle. This to me is grappa.
This to me looks like my father-in-law made this
Yeah.
grappa bottle.
Moonshine.
Moonshine.
However,
exactly.
but because I do know it's tequila and it's in its rawest form. This is the most rawest
Yep.
tequila you can buy. Okay. The mezcal. I actually really like it. But I like that kick. I love bourbon. I'm a bourbon guy.
But before we get to flavor, tell me about that bottle. Do you like the look? And if so, what's the value on that? The pricing?
Yeah. So the
Marketing.
bottle, you put this in the middle of all the tequilas, it definitely stood out.
Okay.
So I think the messaging is absolutely spot on. I love it.
Out of
And
10?
and that now that I found out that it's actually artists that are being you guys will find I have art here in the office that is from Indigenous and from Australia in the office in the bathroom. You guys have seen them. I love when people are celebrated. So this to me, I like the bottle.
Out of 10?
I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow, that's a high mark.
Yeah, it is. I like it. I really do.
Now-
It stood out. It caught my attention. So
Ash in your mouth. What is the flavor wise you're gonna give it?
I'm sorry, but I love it.
Ugh.
Guys, I come from making grappa. So for me, it's like, this is like, I have my still and it's dripping into my cup and I threw the first little bit out because it's poisonous. And this is like raw fucking tequila. I like it.
Listen, man, this is a mezcal. So if you're not into mezcal
Yeah.
tequilas, you're
Yeah.
not going to be into this bottle. 100%.
Nick agrees with me.
Yeah.
I like
if
it.
Feels
if
like
you're
you
not
just got ash in your mouth.
No.
if you're not into mezcal tequilas, you're not going to like this bottle whatsoever.
Casamigos doesn't taste like this.
They
Yes, it
have.
does.
Does Casamigos have
Yeah, they
a
do.
mezcal?
Yeah,
they do.
We should
It's
follow
like-
that
They
lead on
do.
this.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh man, that
That was
smoky
cloudy.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm not
Johnny,
a
what are you
fan of
giving
that.
on this smoky?
I like it. It's 8.5 for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Bang.
pricing, what did we say? It was,
Pricing
70?
$75.
79,
79?
I think. $70.
Okay, so pricing, it's a little high, Johnny. What do you think?
I don't know what mezcals usually go for, but
Mezcals are
I'm
more
gonna say-
expensive.
Are they?
I think so.
I don't think so.
How do you
I
feel
don't
about the
know.
price?
It's not bad. It's 8. So I'm going to give this,
Eight and a half.
overall, it's an 8.5. This is a really good, like, I enjoy it quite a bit.
Good. Now,
So
let's have
even though the picture's kind of weird.
picture is interesting.
Yeah, it is. But
Danny,
It definitely got your attention.
it did. It worked. Yeah.
talk to me about that look.
For the look of it, I mean, as much as they slapped a nice picture on there to get your attention, I'm still not for the
Okay,
look.
hold on. But I want to give you a perspective. This is zero additives, all natural. Think of a homemade bottle.
Homemade bottle of tequila,
Yes. Does it look like a homemade bottle of tequila?
100%.
Then it has to look good.
So what? Give me a score on that.
I don't know. Like, would I showcase this in my trophy case of tequilas? I wouldn't.
No, that's what I'm going to bring you if I want to fuck you up. Like, I'm going to pull that off the shelf because I
Johnny's
want.
trying to sell it as hard as he possibly can.
No, no.
man, like, as
What
much-
do you-
he
what are you
he
thinking,
can sell
price-
me that
uh,
pen all he wants,
Mark?
but like, I'm still not gonna want this on my tequila
Out
shelf.
of
so
10.
That's what I said. If you want to get messed up, this is definitely a tequila you drink.
I'll be honest. If you brought this to my house, I'm probably gonna have one shot because you brought it, and I'm gonna put it in the
Yeah. I'd never see it again.
yeah.
So what are you giving it on looks?
Personally, on looks, it's a 6 for me.
Okay. Now talk to me about ash in the mouth.
I've said this many times on the show.
You don't like mezcal?
Mezcals I don't like, man.
No.
Out of 10?
I have friends that make like mezcal mezcal mules and stuff like that, and I'm like, how? Make this with normal tequila and it's amazing. Make this with a mezcal, like I don't know, man. Like I don't see it.
So you're not a smoky guy. Out of 10?
For taste,
Yes.
yeah, I'm a 6. And unfortunately, it's because of the mezcal.
And the price at 70.
At $70, again, I'm not buying it. So
No,
So you're a 6.5. You're about an 8.5.
I love mezcal.
This is
and,
probably the
and
only
so
bottle.
so I did research. The reviews are very up and down, and it's truly because you either really like
Mezcal.
or you don't.
Yep.
Because if you really like mezcal, you're gonna appreciate this bottle probably.
I like it.
If you're a fan of the smoky flavors, you'll love it. If
I
you're
just like
not,
I like the raw form. So when you cook grappa, you taste the cook. The hotter the flame, the hotter the alcohol. The mezcal, because the way it's cooked, it's because it's smoked. You taste it. It's like grappa. This is the grappa of tequila. So I like it.
give it to me in the rawest form now where people can find you. That's where they can send you the hate mail.
Listen, hate mail all you want. I could care less. If you want to come try this bottle of mezcal, you can find it.
It'll be right here on the shelves. I'm sure it'll be here for a while. So if you see this show in a year from now, this bottle will still be there. You're welcome to try it.
I've taken it home for the weekend, so it'll be finished by Monday, guaranteed. You can find us here on the Couch Podcast 23 on all streaming platforms. You can find me at 12 Park Boulevard or at Your Nesta Financial on Instagram. And Danny,
Mortgages by Danny C on all social platforms.
I guarantee you, okay, if I had to guess,
still.
this would be the most bought bottle on our show
Okay.
because the controversy.
Let it go, Johnny. Let it go.
Not because I like it, just because of the controversy.
I side with Danny because I hate that smoky feel, but you have a good argument because if you like the smoky, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
So until next time, gentlemen, drink responsibly.
And go buy this mezcal and have a brisket.